I wanted to include one little piece of a potential troubleshoot if your patch is not quite taking to your copy of your Donkey Kong 64 ROM. You might feel free to skip over this part of the video. It is not supremely important, and the chances are that this is not going to happen to a lot of people, but there is a non-zero number of people who may run into this issue that I'm about to describe here. So if you happen to find yourself, following the instructions for patching your Donkey Kong 64 ROM with my patch and something seems wrong, it's just not taking, or the game is all weird, you might want to maybe come back to this portion of the video and watch this troubleshooting. What it is specifically is that different versions of Nintendo 64 games or ROMs can have, different versions with different bug fixes that were applied to them by Rare and Nintendo and the people that developed them. And so each one of these ROMs, as you will have it, has a thing called an SHA1. Not to get too technical, let's just essentially call it a unique identifier number. And so what we would want to check here is if you're having a hard time patching, it could be because the Donkey Kong 64 ROM that you have on your computer could be fake, it could be inauthentic, it could be a different version. And so what we're going to do is make sure that the version or the Donkey Kong 64 ROM that you have is the one that is compatible with my patch. Like I mentioned, 99% chance that yours by default is going to be the one that is compatible. I'm just trying to be extra thorough and give a little extra troubleshooting in case somebody does happen to run into this. Just being overly precautious. So what we can do to check the SHA1 hash of our Donkey Kong 64 file is first and foremost, we'll want to right click on our ROM and say copy as path because we'll need a reference to that later. I'm on Windows, so I'm going to open my Start window menu here, and up in the search bar, I'm going to type in CMD for command, and then this best match here is the command prompt. Effectively, you'll have this command prompt here, and you're going to type in a command, and it will tell you what the SHA1 hash is. That's the number we're looking for. So what you'll start typing in is certutil, which is one word, and you'll do a space, a hyphen, and no spaces, hash file, all one word, space. And then since we already copied the path to our Donkey Kong 64 ROM, we are going to hit Control V to paste that path. And then we'll do another space, SHA1. I'm going to pause here for a second just to maybe let you pause the video. You can take a look at this command and, type it out and get yourself ready if this is something you find yourself doing. But once you've got your command in, certutil -hash file path to your ROM and SHA1, you can hit enter. And what that will spit out for you is this hash or this unique identifier here. And what you'll want to verify is basically that you get the same number as I do, the same hash as I do. You don't need to be meticulous and go character by character to make sure every single one matches. Hashes are pretty fairly different, especially as you get to the end of them. So if you are to check like F4A50, if your hash is coming back as exactly that and matching mine, then you're good. If you still have issues, then we can talk about what might be going on there. But I just wanted to include this additional piece of troubleshooting in case people were trying to apply a patch to, again, either a version of Donkey Kong 64 that is, I don't want to say fraudulent, but like fake, inauthentic, or maybe you just had a version that is too advanced or too not advanced that is not compatible with my patch.